Hello there, I'm Josh from Audiophile-Heaven, and today we're having two interesting guests from KB Ear. I don't know what that stands for, and they don't explain. It is time for me to complain. So KB Ear F1 and KB Ear Opal. So those are two IEMs. I apologize if there is a bit of noise in the background. I think that they are. I think that some kind of car is, I don't know, doing pesticides outside. I would have liked to have timed my videos while that was not happening. I'm trying to look at my voice recorder to say whether that would be audible or not in the video, and I think it will be. I apologize for that. So the F1, you can see the specifications here, and the Opal, you can see the specifications here. They are two very uninteresting IEMs made by the KB Ear. So you probably know the price range of each. This one is about $35-40 US, and this one is about $25 US. If your question is whether either of these is a hidden gem, something magical that will blow your mind, then the answer is no, neither is that. If your question is whether I complain too much about cheap and entry-level IEMs, then the answer is most probably yes. But my point, the F1 is a pretty interesting IEM, to be honest. It is interesting. This is how the package looks like. And I don't know, they have good build quality. They are made of plastic shells, but they have detachable cables. Something which at this point I think is just a gimmick. Having a detachable cable for a $30 or a $40 US IEM is a gimmick. You are going to exchange the whole IEM way before even considering changing the cable. Because that is the reality. I will not lie to you. I like to be a reviewer and I like to be honest. I do not see anyone in this entire world purchasing cables for a IEM that is $30 US, because I don't know, only the shipping plus the cost of the cable would be another $30 US. And even if you liked this IEM in particular, you would purchase a new pair way before you are purchasing a new cable. So they have left and right markings on the cable, which is good. I hope it is visible. I do not think it is visible on the camera. So you put them like this. I'm not going to insert them in my ears once again because they are very uncomfortable. Despite their rather small size, they look like this, so they should be comfortable, but they are very uncomfortable, to be honest. This is because the bore is not actually quite that small. Oh, it is a lipless bore. I haven't even noticed this before, so there is no lip. It's not like the tips are going to fall off the bore. I'll be honest with you. I do not like to complain about stuff that doesn't need complaining about. There is only one cheap balanced armature driver inside. There is nothing else in there. There is just one cheap balanced armature driver and detachable cables, which were not necessary. So basically it goes in your ear like this, but it goes much deeper than I am showing it to you because they are a very deep fit IEM. They create a lot of void, but there is no driver flex since there is no dynamic driver. But they create a lot of void and you need to be very careful when inserting and taking them out. The sound would be very magical when listened loud. When listened quiet, it is very flat and very boring. When listened loud, it becomes a bit more vivid and dynamic, but since this is one very cheap balanced armature driver, it distorts a lot. There is a ton of distortion with the KB F1, and I can hear that distortion. Now, would I purchase it for $35 US? I most probably would not, because there are very good options at $50 US, like, I don't know, from KZ, no Zenith, there is Shozi Hibiki. There are options, and this would not be one of those options, for me at least. I mean, yeah, they are interesting, they are cheap, but do you need something that is $35 or $25 US? Do you need an IEM at that price point, or do you need something that would last you longer? I have probably told you a little story. This is the Opal. I'm going to start unboxing it while telling you the story. So at one point, I was purchasing some IEMs, very cheap, but I like the sound. And I ended up purchasing like 5 pairs of them. And I kept purchasing them and they kept breaking on me. And in the end, I spent way more than if I was purchasing one better EM and using that one the entire time. So at that point, I realized that if you are a music lover, if you love your music, you would probably appreciate having something better, you know? Like, this is why I do those videos, to guide you to something better. And those two EMs are not something better, are something cheap and affordable. Now, yeah, I know, this one is $25 US, so you cannot expect much from it. Again, detachable cables on a EM that really doesn't require them, because, I don't know, if they break and if you are going to ask for replacements, they are going to send you replacements, but the shipping itself may be more than the cost of the EMs. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to have detachable cables below a certain price point. Better make standalone cables and make them good, because those connectors are not very good of quality. You see, it spins too easily, while this one does not. The cables of the F1 do not work with the Opal, so I'm not sure if any aftermarket cable would work with them, because the cables from those ones, they are both from the same company, so the cables from this one do not work with this one. I just noticed it because I wanted to check whether their cables were different, and they do not work. I don't know, the connectors do not fit in. I tried pushing them, I will not push them harder to break them. I just noticed that. So this is the EM. So I'll give them that. They have good build quality, both of them. Both of them are beautiful, and both of them are, I don't know, I apologize, that pesticides car is probably coming once again, and I am once again probably going to have some noise on the background. So am I a complainer? Yes, I am, because I'm a reviewer and it is my job to complain about what is not worth your money. You are investing money on those things, and you should invest in something that is actually worth your money. Now, what would I advise you? If you had $25 US, I would advise you to better save until you have 50, because there are good options at 50. At $25 US, everything is made on a budget, and budget cuts usually mean budget cuts in places that are important. Now let me talk about the sound. So the Opal, the one that has a dynamic driver, this one, is pretty metallic sounding. It has a very metallic, shrill kind of sound. They have a good bass and a good mid-range-ish, slightly too reset mid-range, but otherwise the treble is too metallic and too shrill and too harsh to be enjoyable, for me at least. I don't know, they are too spiky. It is similar, I don't have it on my table anymore, to the Triple Win TP10. It has the same issue. The lower treble ends too early, the higher treble rolls off too early. It is just a spike of treble that is not musical nor enjoyable. It doesn't deliver the kind of sound I would want. They would probably be okay with classical. Now those ones, the F1, I think that the name comes because they look like an F, and because they have one balanced armature. They're pretty good, to be honest. I wouldn't mind them, but they have practically no dynamic range. They have no dynamics. They are flat. They are so flat dynamically that I don't know, when you think about it, they are very flat dynamically at low volumes. If you increase the volume, they become better. The balanced armature in there is clearly good, better at high volumes, but they get a ton of distortions. So yeah, it is like that kind of situation where you don't know what to do with them. Like, I couldn't listen to them at low volumes. They are very flat, mid-range forward, but flat dynamically, so it is not very enjoyable. But at high volumes, they are enjoyable, but they become distorted. The mid-range has a ton of distortion, and so does the bass. The treble doesn't have a lot of distortion, but then again, very few things in the world have distortion in the treble. But the bass and the mid-range have a ton of distortions with the F1. So you are left with two EMs that are pretty interesting by themselves. The design is beautiful. I mean, if you go out on the street, you would want either of these. They look beautiful. They are pretty well built. They even have detachable cables. I'm not complaining about that. Even the comfort is acceptable on both. The Opal doesn't even have... so this one, the Opal, is a $25 US EM that does not have driver flex, so it is excellent in terms of comfort. They actually created something good. I'm complaining about the sound of both because both of them are just, I don't know. I wouldn't purchase either, honestly. There are better options if you save up a few more dollars. And this is my point, and this is what I am going to be saying when reviewing certain very budget stuff. Unless it is very good at its budget, like the Shoji Hibiki was, I am going to recommend you to either save up until something pretty good comes up or recommend something that comes up and it is good. I will be leaving a link in the description of this video to the shop selling them, to the KB ear, and I am probably going to be asking them what the KB means and leave a comment to the video to let you know. I thank you for watching. I hope you'll consider watching my other videos. I hope you'll consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.